Welcome to the NU White Trail here in Boulder, Colorado. Sort of kind of my old stomping grounds. I grew up near here from 1 to age of 10, so sort of a homecoming for me. It's really, really beautiful. This is a 3-mile out and back trail here in Boulder at 5,000 plus feet of elevation. Just started the trail, already kind of feeling it, so might be a slower pace today. Nothing wrong with that, but it's gorgeous, very promising. Lots of wildflowers along the trail, huge pine trees growing up everywhere, gorgeous rock formations. So very excited for today, very excited to get exploring, see what we find, and just enjoy this beautiful mountain air here in Boulder, Colorado. So let's go see what we can find, shall we? All right, I think I've already found my first shot. It's here behind me. There's this beautiful little pink spring flower kind of growing up. I don't know what kind of flower it is. I'm gonna have to look it up when I get back into civilization and within the reach of the internet. But beautiful little shot. It's got 2 little green shoots either side of it. Full bloom pink flower right in the middle. So that's what I'm gonna capture and then get this whole thing. Kind of envisioning this a little bit of a landscape orientation, wide shot. So really, really pretty. I'm gonna get set up on it here behind me. And once I'm ready to go, I'm gonna show you what we're looking at. All right, my friends, here it is. Beautiful little pink flower growing up the single stalk. Don't know what kind of flower this is again, so I'm gonna have to look that up when I get home. And if I find out, this is what it is. Really pretty. Got this single stalk coming up and then it just explodes into a bunch of different branches. And then I've got this one beautiful, fully opened bloom right here in front of me. Shooting this at an ISO 100 f5.6, 1/15th of a second. And I am focus tagging this. I'm zooming in close, focusing on the little styles or pistils or whatever the pokey outy bits are of a flower, and then just kind of letting the focus travel through. Just want to get the flower really, really sharp, and then the little greens on the sides of it. I'm just kind of adding some interest and some color, so I don't care about those being in focus. I'm going to let them fall off, and that's the shot. Real simple. I'll show you here what we're looking at through the camera. Here it is. Beautiful pink flower. Love it. And there's nice little splashes of green around it, and then that shallow depth of field, just letting all of this darkness and everything behind it just fall off into fuzziness and just kind of framing that pink flower really, really nicely. Really happy with this. Great start to the day. 1/4 mile into the trail. I'm gonna keep going. These little pink guys are popping up everywhere. It's amazing. My friends, found a shot. This one's beautiful. I've got this gorgeous pine tree right here in front of me, and it has these little shoots coming out, and on the tips of the branches, the very young branches, are these bright green, fresh spring growth. It's gorgeous. Got this beautiful contrast between the light green and the dark green of the pine needles on this tree. That's the shot. I've got one kind of shooting out here in front of me that prongs out into a trident. Got 3 green sprouts right on the ends of all of those. That's my shot. Shooting in really tight. I've got my 70 to 200 millimeter lens on here, just framing up the end of this single branch with the 3 green fresh growth on it. Shooting at an ISO 100, f5.6, 1/40th of a second. Underexposing this by about 2 stops because I really want to accentuate the fresh growth on this guy. Taking 3 shots, 1 on each one of those new green spruce growths. I'll show you here what we're looking at through my camera. Widen out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. But here it is. Beautiful little fella right down here with these 3 newly growth at the end, framing in somewhere right about there. underexposed a bit, so I'm getting a nice contrast between the fresh green and the dark green, like I mentioned. Probably going to be about a square crop, maybe a 4x5, just to kind of take out this branch here at the top. Not really doing anything. I just want it really to be all about this little section right here. Really nice. Beautiful Colorado mountain scene, I think. And that's it. Love it. Really, really happy with this. Great find. Trying to focus stack this one. I got this beautiful little cluster of young little pine cones. That's the word I'm looking for, pine cones. I think growing out of the end of this branch here, and a little sprout of fresh growth in the middle of it. So I've got this great contrast of young pine cones, I think they're pine cones, and growth in the middle. Nice contrast, nice texture to this image. Really, really nice. The trick is there's a light breeze, and this thing is at the end of a delicate little branch, so it's swaying ever so slightly. The light is really, really nice. If I get my diffuser in here and just kind of knock it down and even it all out, it gives this really nice kind of glow, which I'm really, really loving, but difficulty with the focus stack just because of that wind. So trying to wait for it to die down, trying to get this shot. Show you here what I'm looking at through my camera. If I can get a focus on it, there it is. And bringing in my diffuser, you can see what it does with that nice, beautiful light on this guy. Just, again, all about the colors and the patterns and the textures in this, more about the textures, really. And just kind of that, I don't know, that new, fresh spring growth. It's really, really pretty. Just hoping I can get it to calm down enough to grab this shot. Friends, I really like this shot. I've got this huge boulder here, and part of it is just kind of starting to peel away, crack off. So it's got this huge crack coming down here, but lodged inside this crack is this tiny little triangular shaped rock, just kind of wedged in there, almost like it's wedging this boulder apart. So that's the shot, that's the subject here. A little bit of a technical shot here because that small wedge rock that's stuck in the crack is in a really dark shadow. So I'm having to do a longer exposure for that rock in there of about second and a half at ISO 100 f/16. Then I'm taking a second exposure for the exterior boulder to control the highlights, because this thing is out here, it's getting hit by light. The contrast between the big boulder and the small rock in the crack is too great. I lose too much detail and too much texture in these exterior rocks. So blending two exposures in about a second and a half, about 0.6 of a second, putting those two together. I'll show you here what we're looking at through the camera. This is it. Got these great little ribbons of giant boulder, and then way in there, see if I can adjust for this, right in there is my tiny little wedge shoved way back there in the shadows. So exposing again for that shadow rock, those exterior rocks, blend those two together should make one nice little image. I really like this, it's really fun. My friends, we've reached the turnaround point of the trail, so now we just head back from whence we came, 1.5 miles back to the trailhead, end of the car. I think this is where I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to say so long and thank you for coming along with me. It has been an incredible day. Really, really happy to get back up here in the altitude. Really fun to kind of revisit a place where I grew up. I don't really have a lot of memories of this place. Not this place specifically, not at all, but of Boulder, because I was little, but still kind of holds a special place in my heart. So it's fun to come back. It was really great to come out here to the woods and hike around a little bit. Got a little bit of everything today. Got some flowers, got some trees, got some rocks, loads of nature. Wonderful. Wonderful day, and I really do want to thank you for coming along with me. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Tell your friends, because the more the merrier. I'd love to see the channel grow. And if you liked what you saw here today, please head on over to toddhphoto.com. Over there you can see the images I've been taking throughout the years. While you're there, I would love it if you would consider signing up for my mailing list. As a member of my mailing list, you get early access to my blog posts, and when you receive that email, you get free access to download the featured image free for 1 week before I offer it up for sale as a digital download for $1. And if you'd like to get something to hang up on your walls, I do have a small selection of fine art giclée prints there. Just a little selection of some of my personal favorites. So I want to thank you for stopping over at the website. I want to thank you for coming on a hike with me today. And from the Ann U. White Trail here in Boulder, Colorado. So long, and we'll see you next time.